Hey, this is Anthony with RevZilla TV, where you can watch, decide, and ride. In this video, we're going to break down a new product for 2011 from Spidi. This is the Track Wind Pro race suit. This is their top-end, full-service, fully protective race suit they have just released to the market. We have the white, silver, high-vis color option, but it does come in a few different colors, including black and black red. If we see Jason to my left, Jason's rocking it out here today. He's wearing a size 50. From a sizing standpoint, we find that it fits within what you'd expect from a size 50. Jason's a 50 in Dainese, he's a 50 in Alpine Stars, he's a 50 in Revit. You know, some of the Spidi products on the textile side run a bit small. We find that their leathers are pretty spot on. So if we look at it, we're looking around that $1,300 price range, which is not at the beginning end of the investment scale. That's somewhere in the mid to high end, and you're getting a lot of functionality here. I think one of the standout features before we get into any of the nuance is really the style. Spidi has a unique look to it. Obviously, this colorway is a unique look, but even the shoulders on here, it's one of my favorite features on the Spidi leathers, as you have kind of the triple layer leather shoulder, starting with the perf, moving to the high-vis accent behind, and then you have the third and final layer across the top, you know, encapsulating some of the other seams. Now, if we look at it and we think about the American market, from a perforation standpoint and breathability standpoint, it's going to do a good job. You have perf on the arms, you have a full perf panel down the front, onto the legs, as well as onto the back. So you're getting a lot of perforated leather there, whereas a lot of times in Europe, we see those guys wear a non-perf suit, and in the States here, that doesn't fly. Also, it's using the 10X flex material. So you're going to see it start at the neck, work its way down, come on the inside of the arms, as well as the yoke of the crotch, and go down the back of the legs. That offers two things. One is flexibility for different builds, so I'd probably be a 52 in this suit. You know, Jason's going to be a 50, but different size arms, you're going to need some of that room to be able to expand and contract so it fits your body the proper way. Also, the 10X Flex has a breathability to it, just like we see aramiddic stretch panels, we see S1 stretch panels in different manufacturers. 10X is the proprietary Spidi stretch panel that does breathe as well. You also notice that we have some temper foam panels as some accent for both style and protection as we spin Jason. Before we do, though, I do want to get into the armor. So you're looking at a full suit that's going to have CE rated GP style armor throughout. Two different styles of armor in this suit. In asymmetric areas of your body, like your shoulders, you're going to have the Biomechanic Armor. This is the left shoulder. CE rated, proprietary to Spidi. This is going to sit up on my shoulder. It would be sitting on the shoulder in the left suit. We pulled it from another suit we have. And notice it's even labeled left shoulder. But when you get into areas of the body that are going to be symmetrical, like a forearm, you're going to have your Force Tech armor, which we see in the other Spidi high-end gear. So elbow as well as forearm. There's hip padding in this suit, and the nice part, it's one of the key standouts, and I'm not going to go down to it just yet, but the knee and shin armor in this suit is movable, and it's one of the few race suits that we have here at RevZilla.com that has adjustable knee armor in a suit. We typically don't see it. We see fixed armor, and it's one of those things that can be hit or miss depending on the length of someone's legs, and we find that it's a nice selling feature on this suit. It's a nice nuance that really, when you get into the $1,300 level of a suit, it comes down to the creature comforts and the details that are going to make it be the best suit for your riding style and fit in the longer term. Looking at these sleeves here, we're going to have auto-locking zippers like we see from other high-end suit manufacturers here on the sleeves. And as we open it up, you're going to get a glimpse of the inner liner, which is removable and hand washable. It is mesh. You're also going to see that this is a nice feature, oh, and I locked it in the wrong position, that we also have neoprene cuffs on the outside. So high wear areas that could potentially chafe. If you're wearing a gauntlet, you see them at this cuff, and you're also going to see them down at the bottom cuff of the pant, which I'll get to when I work my way down. You're going to also have them on the neck as well. So Jason, I'm going to ask you to turn and face that way. As we come in tightly on the shoulder, you do have some venting on both the front and the back. It has a silver mesh, and it's away from an impact zone. Coming down, we talked about the armor in both shoulder as well as elbow. You have temper foam on the back of the bicep, or actually on your tricep here. You also, if you hit the race position for me, Jason, you're going to see the stretch panels, elasticated stretch panels that start at the neck, work their way under the arms, and you're going to have a nice yoke at the lower back here, and you're going to have them at the top of the knees. That's the proper positioning. That's going to allow you to be comfortable in the race position. If you're comfortable on the bike, you're going to be focused, and when you're focused, you're a better rider, and you're the most safe or proficient if you're on the track. Looking to the back, move backwards for me, Jason. Neoprene at the neck, just like any other sport cuff. It's a leather cuff. It can chafe. The neoprene is going to keep it from doing so. Perforated, big GP style speed hump. What you can't see, as we're going to cut to it, is that you're going to see the top of this speed hump has ventilation. It also, this zipper, that's a water resistant zipper that runs across the back, means that this is a hollow hump. The hollow hump is suited for the hydropack system. $40, you can add on a a OEM Spidi hydration system that's going to work with the loop that was on the front of this suit. You probably noticed it when we had him spun around. Temper foam panels, Venturi vents on the back. They're going to help exhaust air out. We talked about the styling, and we have this with the elasticated stretch zone at the top. And as we work down to the seat, if you look here, we're going to have reinforcement here and a temper foam pad across the seat, as well as the coccyx. It's also double leather layer, so we don't like to typically see seams that run across your backside because it's an area for a slide, but it's not a single leather of layer, so we're a little bit more forgiving about it. And as we move down here as well, you're going to see that we have the 10X flex panels that go across the back of the leg and all the way down. Come back around to the front for me, Jason. One last thing to point out, we have a TPR pull that covers a YKK zipper, and this eyelet right here is where you're going to snake your hydration pack through. Now I'm going to move down and we're going to hit the lower half of this suit. So starting around his midsection, his waist, you're going to see the 10X flex. Again, we talked about it, the stretch as well as breathable zones, coming down to elasticated panels across that are above the knee for flex. Now the sliders are an interesting thing with Spidi. They're very unique to the Spidi line. We see a slider that's a little bit of a different style than we're used to seeing from a Dainese, from an Alpine Stars. I think it's cool that they took an extra functional step to try to design a slider that's a little bit different from the norm. I think what they were going for is engineering for the proper placement of the slider is going to have a panel that's a different durometer or hardness that'll wear differently. That's going to be the unique area that's meant to come in contact for the ground. My gripe with this is that you don't have the ability to rotate the slider to get a longer life out of it. But again, it's a personal preference thing. They are replaceable, and they're specifically labeled left and right. Now, as we also look at it, I have Jason. You see his beautiful Nike sock here, but I have him with one boot on and one boot off. The reason being is we want to show how the suit goes into the boot and it interfaces here on the right side. But on the left side, if you turn your leg out a little bit, or you can even turn your body, you're going to see how the zipper comes up, it's on the inside, it's lined, the perforated leather goes all the way down, but this is what the inside of this cuff looks like. The nice part, and you can come back to a more comfortable stance, is that we have neoprene on this cuff as well, and what they've done here, and we've seen Alpine Stars do it as well, is we've seen the thinning of the cuff that goes into the boot when you get to that level. That part of the suit's going to be covered by a boot. It's going to have plenty of protective that comes from the boot itself going over the leather. So making that a bit thinner makes it a bit easier on and off, and a bit more comfortable with less thickness in between your leg and the boot when you have your boot fully on. Turn backwards for me, Jason. You know, covering the back side of this, we talked about the back, we talked about the backs of the legs. You can see it's a 360-degree on the bottom neoprene portion, which is going to be more comfortable and a bit thinner. Come back around for me, Jason. But really what you're looking at is a suit that's going to go heads up against some of the Revit suits. It's going to go heads up against the Laguna Seca Pro from Dainese. It's a particular style that's going to appeal to some riders. We feel that it is, you know, safety stitched. It's 1.2, 1.4 mil grade cowhide, so it's race grade cowhide. It's going to be a very functional suit with a great style to it, available in a handful of color options. And from our standpoint, we're very happy to see Spidi raise their game going here into 2012. Remember, we want to hear what you think. First impressions on the Spidi Trackwind Pro race suit. Leave it for us at Facebook or on YouTube. Subscribe to us at RevZilla TV. On our YouTube channel, we review new gear as we get our hands on it continually throughout the year. And as always, if you have any questions, shoot us a line. See us at RevZilla.com or 877-792-9455. It's over $39. We'll ship for free. We'll exchange for free. No restock fees if you need to send it back to us, and you can always earn TeamZilla cash to be applied to your next order by continuing to shop with us. Thank you for watching our detailed breakdown of the Spidi Trackwind Pro race suit, available at RevZilla.com/Spidi. I'm Anthony. We'll see you next time.